We're doing it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Already dropping. So I was saying, I'm trying to see if I can get this owl on camera. I don't know if we'll be able to get him. He doesn't like to be, like, he only likes you to see him really close if you're like, if you're staring like directly into your soul. We're gonna see if we can find him. Fuck, maybe not. He was over here on this walnut tree. Oh, there's the blue jay. Okay, where you at? He's gonna be fucking close. So the blue jays will do like a defensive attack formation against them. They fly in tandem, and then they'll do that anytime he gets in proximity to their nest. I'm assuming, right? Hey, owl! Hey, owl, where are you? I think he's like right in here. He's probably fucking hiding. He's hiding and he's looking down the trees at me like the fucking Predator movie. Yeah, fuck, I can't see him. Okay. Alright. Well, that's fine. I guess you'll just have to. Dugan is such a fucking faker. He was like faking there were owls like flying around outside. I can't believe this guy. First he makes up this ridiculous story about fucking Jews running the United States. Then he makes up a story about how fucking owls fly around. I can't take this guy. All right, we're going back to the healing room. Unbelievable. So this video is actually for books. I got a lot of emails with people requesting books, and we kind of went over it, but it was embedded into one of those like, you know, like a fucking like some of these videos are as long as like a Senate session. So we're gonna like do a somewhat condensed one, and that was like a failed opener where we were gonna try to show you some of these cool owls out here, but that didn't work. So now we're working our way back up. The coolest owl, my favorite owl of all, is like it's super rare. It's called a short-eared owl, and they look like, I can't even describe them. When you see these motherfuckers, well, number one, they hop around the ground like a chicken. Yeah, I probably do need help setting up Discord shit because I don't even fucking know how to use it. So the short-eared owl, right? The short-eared owl, it hops around the ground like a chicken. Let's get on Wi-Fi. How do I get on? Can I bump on a Wi-Fi on here? No, I can't. Maybe it'll go automatically. Do a transition, I don't know. Don't use Discord. Why not? Why? I don't even like what. Does it work? Does it function? I mean, this one's working okay. I just can't do any like interviews on it or anything. We really, I think we need to move into interview territory. Fed Boy Honeypot, Dan. I literally give two fucks less if anybody in here is a Fed. You could be, if you're watching this and you're like, I don't even care. For all I know, fucking Jacob Rothschild watches this channel, you know, for fun. I'm like, I don't know. I don't give a shit if Feds watch this. Welcome. Hope do you have some Grizzly so we can dip Grizzly together? Yeah, Ben Pettis says we're not going for OPSEC really. Fucking government. This is actually a great point. I'm having a day, guys. This guy asks, hey, you guys, where all? So I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, and I can't notice that like DOT cameras. Well, like, okay, when people were complaining about the government putting in DOT cameras like at the state level, it would basically be like there's this phenomenon that exists that's almost like I don't even know how to describe it because see it's weird right now. You still have the protection of the law, but you have to like call it out. You have to be like, this is it, you know, and then they'll be like, oh, we don't believe you. And you'd be like, yes, it is. And you have to like hire a lawyer, and the lawyer's like, as of now, that's correct, you know, like, so they'd be in these council meetings or whatever when they're hearing public comment, and people be complaining and shit. And you know how, I mean, everything's like this. It's like what probably concern about like watching fucking global government like slow. What they want to say is, what they do say is like, well, you know, what about privacy concern and things like that? Like, you know, I don't do anything wrong, so it's just I just want to, you know, what about my privacy while I'm doing good things, you know? Like that's how they say it. What they're really thinking is like, wow, this looks awful lot like something completely alien and foreign to, you know, my country and my background. You know what I mean? And like it looks like y'all are trying to fucking slow step and roll me up. Like that's what it looks like, but they don't want to say that. So then nobody fucking says it ever at any, you know, meeting, and then they just go as faintly as possible, and then that's exactly how the fucking shit gets done in the first place, or used to have it, but let it go because they were like too timid to like just say what's on their mind. They pretend like it, and then whoever the host municipality is, they pretend like the same way. Like it's like they're both making up like this story to describe the shape of the room around a monster, instead of just saying like, you know, maybe we should address this monster. They just fucking make up little stories that are analogous to the monster, and then like point their concern around that. Does that make sense? Enjoy that meatloaf. Yeah, sorry, it's probably far. Not only are we not working with a lot of great equipment, I'm also not working with a full deck of cards here in my brain. So that was something I thought of. Hopefully get that. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream, my friend. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna go into this stream is supposed to be about books. This stream is about to be about books, but I haven't talked about that yet. So let's talk about some book. What the fuck do we even have in here? So like I talked earlier, like probably my favorite book that I found that like blew my socks off. Well, the original The None Dare Call It Conspiracy, the Gary Allen, is just such a basic like low level primer that's really easily digestible for somebody to read. It was written in like the 70s, you know what I mean? So it's like an old book. It's nothing like crazy, and everything that it says is like, you know, stands true. It focuses a lot on the CFR, you know, like the initial construction of the CFR. That's Gary Allen, None Dare Call It Conspiracy. Other stuff that's really good is like, it depends. He writes different type. He you know, he has different writing formats. So if you get the you know, I can never fucking remember the order of how his title is, but the Western Technology and the Western Technology and Soviet Economic Development, 3-volume set by Antony Sutton, like Antony, not to be confused with Anth. Sutton shit is really good, and that set in particular, I'm pretty sure it's out of print. I had to order it off eBay, and it was fucking expensive when I bought it, but I really wanted to see it, and I wasn't disappointed because it's just so detailed and thorough. Like, I'm sure huge other exposures, it was just people don't know about it, you know what I mean? Because he was fucking like mainlined into Hoover's documents. Like, he was making the like, I can fucking rig up some coax. I've got a stupid ass DirecTV dish. You know, obviously I ripped that off and made a parabola of it, but I've still got all the coax. I can rig up external antenna. Just got to figure out how to get it into the phone. Oh, fuck. We're fucking coming over here. All right. Hopefully that improves. Let's see if that improves. Okay. Did you guys get the Anthony Sutton book? Okay, you got An Under Claw Conspiracy, Gary Allen. That's a 1970s book that's like a super basic primer. It doesn't go into specificity. It's like broad, and it really has a lot of focus around the Trilateral Commission and the CFR. Okay, but it's like a good intro, like a good general intro from the 70s to show it like when you read it, it shows you how fucked up shit was even in the 70s. You know what I mean? So the really good one is Anthony Sutton, the Western Technology and Soviet Economic Development. That is a good book because it's just nothing but it's just fucking stepwise in order hand receipts of how the United States and Britain built the USSR. Okay. Now, Anthony Sutton wrote a lot of different books, right? So he doesn't just have those volumes. He's got, now I recommend those firstly, but he's also got the best enemy money can buy. Anthony Sutton, right? Best enemy money can buy. That's a good one. He's got Trilaterals over America. Here's a picture of Anthony Sutton. If you don't know him. Okay. He wrote. What else did he got? He got. I think I brought another book. Oh, he's got. He's got Wall Street and the Rise of Hitler, which is a relationship between it like points out the financial funding of Germany for World War II, which is a fact if you didn't know that. Like, I know that people get like super into fucking Hitler and shit because it's like the single, it's like the antithesis to the thesis, but like the shit is bigger than that. I'm sorry, you just have to read about it. It's impossible. You cannot, like, even JFK was like fooled about Hitler, you know what I mean? Which is really perfect if you think about it, because, well, let's not even get into that. We're talking about books. Another one that's really good. This is like a total fucking like crayon eater wrote this, because look at the size of this book, right? It's great. This is War is a Racket, and that's by Smedley Butler. If you don't know who Smedley Butler is, he's like a highly distinguished general that distinguished himself way more after he got out of the Marine Corps. Like as if that was even possible. Like he was like one of the most distinguished service members in the United States Army, like ever. He's not like as famous as like founding fathers or something like that, but because he was really like, I mean, he's just a dude, right? And he made errors too. He made errors in judgment too, but he's not like nefarious or anything. He's like a totally fucking straight up like all American dude, and he built up a huge legacy in the Corps. And then when he got out of the Corps, he just fucking put the icing on the cake, on his reputation, because he would. Like, Smedley Butler was a guy that would fucking throw everything. Like, he got everything, and then he fucking, like, turned around and just, like, threw it away for what he believed in. You know what I mean? I mean, practically. You know what I mean? Which isn't, like, a destructive thing. That's like his metamorphose into being who he is. You know what I mean? Like, he's just fucking stood exactly for what he believed in. All right. Here's the book that I was talking about. That we talked about this in the money one, the money unit that we did, the money stream, the money and its mechanism of exchange, and this is a good example. This is from 1883. Is like this when this is printed. So I just like bought this off. I don't even remember where I got this. I might have gotten it online, like on eBay or something. Somebody was selling it. But you know, like this would have been like this is just like a printing service that was like printing books, that small books and stuff that people have made, and they would just sell small samples, right? And it's kind of a cool book because he really like goes into detail about the history of like specie coin and stuff. But you probably won't be able to find that because it's like small print 1883. But the point is, you should just look around for weird shit that's like old, especially like 1900s and 1800s. There's a lot of obscure writing and it's floating out there, and a lot of it's in print and it's just sitting in like book houses, and it's like barely even known about. You know, like maybe they only made like 1,000 copies and then sold them, and then so you wouldn't even be able to find reference to it on the internet, but it's just people like writing about shit that they see, or like realize in their life, that didn't get some kind of huge book deal or something like that to fund publishing of their books. That's like an example of that. That's why I showed that, right? Like his observation, the guy that the dude that's writing this is Stanley uh, Jevons, or whatever you say. However you say that for a British guy. That's it's just cool. It's a cool example of shit that you can find. Okay. Other stuff. This one is actually, I grabbed this for another example, and this one I haven't even read yet. Like this has just been sitting in my bookshelf, but I grabbed this as another example of like old ass books that you can buy. So this is Memoirs of Extraordinarily Popular Delusions, right? By Charles Mackay. And this is like, a fucking old book. This is like, I don't even know how old this is. It's fucking old, But like I just buy this online. I buy these books online. I don't know if you can even see that. This is, I mean, the half of the page shit, and the opening passage is like from like talking about shit in like 1434. That's like an old book. Yeah, I've read some of. I try. Actually, I thought that Ted was kind of a poor writer. Not in he's extremely precise, but I felt like and I understand his ideas. I just felt like he had difficulty with expression. You know what I mean? Okay. I also recommend. I recommend. This is gonna be so great. I recommend that you get a Tanakh and read a Tanakh. Okay. Now, now the Tanakh reads backwards, right? For all these, if you're like American like me, if you're dumb like me, if you fucking read this like a normal book, you're gonna be like, if you get through it, you're gonna be like, yeah, I love the way that the book opens up with Chronicles and ends in Genesis. It's genius, So like it reads backwards. Well, I didn't bring any Talmuds out here. Okay, so regardless of who you are, I think it's important to, like, you should, let's say that you're in here and you're like, because I would imagine right now we probably have like Orthodox Jews and like neo-Nazis on the channel watching this shit. You know what I mean? So when you read, it's important to read the Tanakh for a lot of different reasons for a lot of different people. Yeah. Somebody said they were doing translations here on Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy is pretty hardcore. That's hardcore. I think my favorite is Genesis, and I like Ezekiel also. Genesis and Ezekiel are probably my favorite. Like Ezekiel is fucking intense, bro. Okay. I mean, Genesis is fucking intense too. What else do we have? Oh, okay. Here's one. Here's So we were talking about electronics, right? Now my thesis for electronics, like the reason I would even bring this up, is because it's boogie, right? It's a boogie thing, but that's our secondary. It's really, see, here's the thing that's interesting. A lot of the things that people are getting into for boog is like what happens is like you start to get into this shit and then make it a part of your life, and then you just realize like this is just the way I was always supposed to live. You know what I mean? Like people like like be a little bit conservative on their intake and stuff and not waste as much, and then like just kind of think about shit a little bit more and get their shit in order so they're just like not fucking bouncing around like everything's an emergency to emergency, which is what I do. I'm still like that. So I hope someday I'll be able to, have some peace. But the you realize once you start doing it, you think that like people think of it when they first start, like if they're not exposed to this stuff, like there used to be preppers, right? Like there used to be the prepper community is what they call it, like quote prepper community. And it was really distinguished from like the boog and like the idea of just subsistence, like living, logically. It was different in that it was fueled by like economics and all the same consumption. It was just geared. It was like the same, consumption model that we all have, but then just like aimed at like how do I defend myself and how do I like not run out of food? You know what I mean? Like where do I go for the fucking fucking laser gas that's gonna come out of the air or whatever, chemtrails and shit. The like I don't even want to use the term sustainable movement, but like the permies and the sustainable and shit like that. A lot of that stuff is like just the way that everybody should fucking live. You know what I mean? It's just figuring out how to do it for yourself and not rely on other people, because that's the only way that we fucking got here. Like if you want to be fucking straight, it's the only way that we got there. That and money goes hand in hand with that. When you take something to provide it for yourself and then you lose the ability and the memory to do it for yourself, then it's like now you're reliant, you're dependent. And then when you willingly become dependent, then you lose choices very quickly, And I mean, you always have choices. One of my buddies once said, you always have choices, you just might not like them, right? You always have choices, you just might not like them. It's true. Very true. So, but the for one of the things that I think people should really get into is like C language, and there's other languages that you can use for Arduino, but like C you can use in a lot of different machines for practical application of like pretty much anything that you could want to build. Anything that's like DC electronics, AC electronics, modding stuff, fixing stuff. If you have electronics that break and shit, getting like a logic probe so that you can like fix broken electronics and shit. This is a book that I recommend for that. This is so this book is called Practical Electronics for Inventors. And there you go. And they have new editions all the time. So this one is what edition is this? I think this is the 4th edition. That's the 4th edition, right? No, I started tearing apart my phone because I didn't like so I knew a long time ago how shit was like recorded, right? Like before, people started like Snowden and shit like that started talking about it. They were already doing it before that. And they used to like, but it's not just like, you guys got to understand that it's not even, when people are concerned about their
I mean, they should. Like, everybody should be concerned about their shit, about their information security. But, like, it's not just that, guys. It's like when you, and I'm not into video games and stuff, so I don't even know what this shit is, but I just know this kind of shit was going on. Like, if you have devices in your house that are hooked up to the internet that have fucking like infrared sensors on them, like, well, here, fuck. So, if you have devices in your house like consoles and stuff that are hooked to the internet, and like infrared sensors where it's pinging, you know, like sending out a signal and pinging it. If you have one of those, it's just like a shooting out an azimuth basically. Or I mean, you don't even get an azimuth. You just get like a radius sense, right? But then if you have two, then you get an azimuth. So like they can fucking tell where you are in the room. You know what I mean? Like they can tell which room you're in and like where, like how deep you are in the room and shit. And that's just used on like, I don't think that they've used it in, like, I don't know of anything that they've used it for in like a historical raid or anything, but that's what it's for. It's for like fucking like super fucking high profile raids by like nation states where it's like they pull everybody in and all getting together and they're like, okay, what tools do we have? And they just like get them all ready. And then if they need to use them, they can fucking use them. So like this is a phone right here. Maybe that's not it. Let's see. I wanted to show you. I have some. Oh, here we go. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. So, like, you know, your fucking phone, it's just got so much shit on there. Like, there's so much fucking information. Like, this is all real time, like, off of this other phone. So you have everything on here that is like, I mean, it's entirely, I mean, you've got the fucking like acceleration and gravity at the top. Do you see that? Where's my camera? There we go. You have the like acceleration and gravity and shit at the top. You have like fucking magnetic field, azimuth, fucking temperature, humidity, pressure, lux. There's like a fucking lux here. Like, I don't even have a fucking camera in this phone. This phone has no cameras in it. It's still picking up lux. I'm not even sure what it does that through, but it has it. It's not as sensitive as like when I didn't have the fucking when I had the cameras in there, it was way more sensitive. Now it's like just less sensitive. No, that's just my, I don't have any front facing cameras on here. I took it out. That's just the plate that goes over it, like the face plate. Most of the shit, a lot of shit is like SMD desoldering and shit. But anyway, the practical electronics book, that's a good one if you want to just like learn about how to make and work with electronics, so that you can just make shit, so that you're not just like, you know, if something goes down, you're not like, well, fuck, I just need to buy a new thing, you know, because it's not going to be worth it to like send it to go get fixed. All right. Yeah, so if you remove your mics, you have to use an external headset. You know what I mean? So if you remove the mic, then you plug in an external headset, like a earbud with a thing on it, and then you talk in it. Now I'll warn you, when you start doing this, like if you're a social person that talks on the phone all the time, I'm not. If you are, it's a fucking pain in the ass. Like if you forget your headset, you're not gonna be able to fucking call anybody. You know what I mean? And you're gonna fucking, when you first do it, you're gonna forget all the time. So you're gonna be like picking up your phone and being like, and you're gonna be like, hi, yes, I'd like a extra, you know, all meat deluxe pizza. And they'll be like, hello, and you'll be like, why don't you open up your fucking ears? Give me the pizza. And they'll be like, hello, and they'll just hang up, and you'll forget that you fucking took out your mic, and then you'll be like, you know, you'll be pissed at first, and then you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's right, I did do that. Just to be aware, you know what I mean? It's kind of a big step, but The phone that I'm on right now actually isn't even my my phone, so it does have cameras in it. All right. What else you got? What do you guys? You want anything else for this book list? You want to wrap it up? Bill Cooper predicted UVL in 9/11. Yeah, what kind of current events you got? I mean, are we like in thermonuclear warfare or something? I wouldn't even know because I'm not watching the news. Yeah, I've read Behold a Pale Horse. Behold a Pale Horse. Michael Flynn, I don't know. I got no idea. I don't even follow that shit. Like, all that election shit. Do my coworkers know you? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know he's a 3-star general. I already talked about. So I don't know if Texas Pride was the guy that sent me the email about, uh, what is it called? Kyrgyzstan. Yeah. So Kyrgyzstan, yeah. So all that shit is like, I mean, I've already talked about this. Like, if you go back and watch the Doug News, I talked about this earlier today. But I saw the index cards. I just haven't, like, I'm fucking barely holding on here. Like, I'm bouncing around like a pinball machine, going from like my job to, and then doing these. Somebody asked me about that Chinese laser tag article. I didn't read it. If you wanted me to read it, if you could send me an email, I will read it with a link. I haven't read John Gatto. No, that would be interesting too. The Space Force. I mean, I don't fucking know. I mean, it's all nefarious. Like, there's nothing, like nothing good is happening. There's no. There's nothing good coming out to Space Force. I can fucking tell you that. Yeah, 22 cans are the shit. 22 cans are the shit. Like, if you had to pick one gun for general, like total general purpose, not like offensive purposes, but just to have like something you could eat with, or like, covertly used, yeah, like a fucking Suppress 22 is the way to go. I love the Sparrows. The Sparrows are great. I mean, it would be illegal, but an oil filter can works really well too. I mean, it'd be illegal if you don't have 0702. Yeah, the mask is good. When I got all my cans, Dead Air wasn't even on. Like, Dead Air hadn't even come out and like formed a unit yet. Like, all those dudes, the Dead Air dudes, we're still at fucking Silencer Co. Is my stream a potato now? Oh, a potato suppressor? Okay. I don't know what's going on in Odessa. I have read some of Midas, right? I haven't read the whole thing. Are there any current presidential candidates not in the elite's pockets, or is it too late? Yeah, so, okay, let me explain this. So like the party system is what's compromised. So like the party system has representatives in every state, and they're the actual party, and they don't really, they're not like, you don't like them, and they're the ones that are like, the party chooses the candidate. So if they're in a party, they're compromised. Does that make sense? There was a gentleman that asked me, you know, are there any presidential candidates that aren't compromised? I mean, you're gonna know at this point, if a presidential candidate wasn't compromised, they're gonna be coming out like swinging. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be like Trump, where it's like, you know, I mean, it would pretty much result in like instant civil war, because they're not gonna, you know, you wouldn't even be like, if you tried to like if you just carried around a fucking pocket constitution and just looked at it every morning, like looked at like just the basic points of it, and then implemented that in your policy as a president, like you're just gonna fucking run into nothing but walls the entire time. Like there's nothing would even get done. You just be spending your entire time telling people no. Like that's all you'd be doing. You'd just be like, no, 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 fuck you. You know, that's it. You wouldn't be able to do fucking shit. And they're not gonna pass anything that you want, because it's not what they want. Do I know Croatia? Yes. Even the fucking Libertarian Party is compromised. I mean, like the more, if it got successful, they just eat that up too. Okay, let's do this, guys. We're gonna wrap this one up so we can keep it short. We've got a guy there's a gentleman that has been very gracious, and he has made another channel, like a BitChute channel, that's an archive of all these videos in case this gets zapped. But we don't want to go too long, because he, you know, it taxes, you know, he's very kind doing all this shit, and he has to fucking sit there and load this shit up. So let's cut this one and we'll start a new one. Okay? Have fun.